TinkerCAD tips. Let's make this simple two-part, two-color butterfly. And a model like this is meant to be printed like on a Prusa or Bambu. You see here, this actually is two parts. I'll grab the orange part here, lift that up. You can see this comes in two parts. These will be selected and exported as an OBJ file so that when you import it into Bambu Slicer, it will ask you which spools in your AMS to assign it to. So let's grab all of this, slide it out of the way for now. Let's come over here to Google, and I just simply went to Google and typed in butterfly clip art black white free, and then I clicked up here on images, and I happened to find this image here. This is a really good one. It's fairly high res. I'm going to right click on it, do save image as. This is a WebP file. I'm going to save this into my STL folders. I'm going to go to convert.io, which you've seen before, convert.io.co. Choose files, select that WebP file, and then click on the drop down, click on SVG, convert. We'll give it a moment here. It'll convert this to an SVG, and then we can download it. There's the download. Go into the same folder. We're going to click Save. We're going to jump back into TinkerCAD. Click on Import. Click on that SVG file, and then Open. Now this gave me a little warning here that this is too large. We're going to reduce this down to 175 millimeters in width. Oops, let's do that again. I clicked Art, 175 millimeters. We're going to click on Import, and we'll give it a moment to bring that in. Once it comes in, it'll look like that. I'm going to go ahead and select on it. I'm going to change it to black. Now, in order to keep everything lined up here, I'm going to be stacking these up. In other words, raising them up and down, but not moving them. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this one up quite a ways. I'm going to hit Control D, drop that down to the work plane. Now what I want to do is I want to change this into a silhouette. Let's go back to our black one here. Let's change the quality of that up to 24. We'll select on the bottom one there. Also make that 24. Now for the fill mode, I want to change this to silhouette. We want this to be solid. And I'm also going to change it to orange. We'll give that a moment to resolve here. Now it looks like that. It's solid. Now what we need to do is we're going to create 3 hole shapes to cut this orange part away in order for this black part to fit into and around it. So we're going to start up here. I'm going to click back on this black part of it up here up top. I'm going to hit Control D. Now we have a duplicate, so I'm going to select one of those. I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to turn that into a hole shape. Now I need to do both an inner and an outer outline on this. So let me drag this down here a little bit more. And in order to get a clean cut of this solid orange back here, I actually need 3 hole shapes. So we have our first one. I'm going to click on Duplicate or Control D. I'm going to grab one of those copies there. We'll bring this one up just a little bit. Okay, now on this bottom one, I'm going to change it to be an outer line, rounded, And I'm going to make that about 3 millimeters. I'm going to click on it here. I'm going to make it 13 millimeters tall. And I'm going to hit D to drop that to the work plane. We'll give that a second to resolve into an outer outline. There we have our outer outline. I'm going to click on this one up here again. I'm going to make another duplicate. Now that we have our second duplicate here, let's drag that one down a little bit. I'm going to also make it 13 millimeters in height. Let's raise this one up here for a moment. And I want to change this to an inner outline. If you don't do all three of these hole shapes, sometimes doing this particular technique will leave odd remnants. That's why I do all three of these hole shapes to make sure I get as much of the solid cut away cleanly. So we're going to say inner line. We're going to make that just 1 millimeter. Corners round. So inner line, round, line width of 1. And there we have our inner outline. 13. I'm going to go ahead and drop that to the work plane. We're going to go back to this one up here. Let's make sure it's 13. I'm going to drop that down to the work plane. All right, so now I've got 4 parts here, 3 of those hole shapes, and then that solid orange part, the silhouette. I'm going to select all 4, Control G to union group. Once it's grouped, it'll look like that. Now, every once in a while, TinkerCAD will tend to leave these little remnants. You see these little towers here, these little thin strips that the hole shapes didn't cut away. But we can quickly fix those with the sketch tool. I'm going to select on this up here, and for the moment, I'm just going to hit Control H to hide this. And we're going to zoom in up here, and I'm going to just grab the sketch tool here, drop it in between all of them, and I'm just going to use straight lines here. I'm just going to encircle around them. Click there, click Finish Sketch. Zoom in there. I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. I'm going to turn that into a hole. There we go. Now I'm going to select that and the orange part and do another union group, or Control G. And voila! Now that it's grouped, the remnants are gone. Zoom back out a little bit here. Let's bring back that black part, Shift Control H to unhide it. We'll select on that, D to drop it down to the work plane. And now you can see that we've got 2 parts here. I can click on the orange part. Those are both separate items. Okay. Now the way to use this, you could obviously resize this. You could put a ring on it over here to make it into a key fob. But what you want to do is select these 2. Don't ever group them together. Keep them as 2 separate objects. And you'll click on Export, OBJ. Once you get this window here, just give it a name. Like in this case, it just says 2color butterfly.zip. Click Save. Then you'll end up with a zip file like this. If we open this up, you can see there's an MTL file and a tinker.obj. Those will be the files that you'll want to import into Bambu Slicer. Well, there you have it. Simple way to make a 2-part, 2-color object like this. Butterfly as an example. As always, like, follow, and repost. Until next time, happy tinkering.